First things first, my peoples come first. What it do? What it do? Looking at what's going on in here. All right, let me make sure my levels are good because that's the last thing I want to do is get this popping and things aren't tracking well. So that seems fine to me. That we're gonna adjust this to that, and I think we're good to go. I see the people in the building. You know what it is. This is Vader Games TV, episode 54 of Why Always Me. Thank you so much. We got a bonus show. Not gonna lie, we got a bonus show this week. And it's because I got a lot on my chest I want to share with you guys. And I appreciate all of you being able to get 50 plus, 80 plus, sometimes 100 plus watches of this video means a great deal. Humble channel, just beginnings. And what you guys are able to do is fantastic. For all of you right now tuned in, I'm going to shout you out. We got FIFA, my guy, first in the comments. What it do with the dubs. We got Danny, big up Vader. Thank you so much. My guy, as always. Clinical, big up as well. Clinical in the building. And I see you in the comments, Clinical. And I see all of you in the comments, even post-show, interacting and being a part of it. Absolutely love it. Now, we got a lot. And I know I say this every time. We got a lot to go through. But this is what I do want to say. Thank you all for liking the channel. Thank you all for commenting. Thank you all for sharing. It means a great deal for a channel like this, just on how it starts. And what I really pride myself on is just try to provide something different. And obviously, that's kind of like a given. I'm here in Toronto talking about football, talking about Manchester City. It's unique in itself. But I also try to not just talk about all of the top level, surface level things with regards to football and some of the agendas. So I hope you all appreciate it, but I am going to bring something new to it. And obviously it always comes from the heart. So before I get right into this, you see the topics here, but we got to make it official. We got to do it right. Let's run the intro. So, any of you watching right now, if you're curious, when you see that intro, what imagery are you actually seeing? Two things. So, right from the jump, you're seeing a view from Toronto Island showing Toronto. All right, you see the Lake Ontario, you see the CN Tower, beautiful skyline. That's what you're seeing from the jump. And then zooming by, what you're actually seeing is Young Street, famous street here in Toronto. That imagery, and you're seeing it from a nighttime level. So, any of you not been to Toronto, you're definitely going to want to check out those spots. Absolutely. And if you've been here before, you know how special it is. Now, you saw the thumbnail. All right. And I got to remind myself of what I said in the thumbnail. I think I said missed opportunity at Anfield. And that's exactly what it was. I'm still not over it. I know many of you may have been. You may have already looked at what's the next upcoming match. But I did a few things unique going into this matchup against Liverpool. I was able to be a part of Saint LFC. He's a Liverpool fan. I support his channel. I tune in often, and we were able to do a little collab. I was on his show for the preview. He was on my show for the post match, and great convo. The agenda, the jabs were light. They were real light. It was respected, and we talked football, but that was unique in itself. But it had to be done, in my opinion, because it was such a big match. And I'm gonna go to the comments. Trust me, continue to drop those in there. But let me, I'm gonna go through this. We did something unique with regards to, just getting each of our perspectives on for what was going to the match. And Saint went in real humble, obviously seeing the form of what Liverpool had and had that perspective. I myself was more of a I see City's form. I see City's form, and I expect more. I expected more from, or expected. No, it's not even expect. I saw confidence. I had confidence with how we were playing and the game we were going into, us versus them. We did the show, and this is why I needed to do this bonus show again, one on one, the way I do. Why always me talking to y'all? That was a missed opportunity. And I'm racking my brain. I'm still trying to figure it all out. But what I wanted to first ask you in the chat, and I'm going to go to the comments. What were your expectations for City versus Liverpool? Like, I know we now know what the result was, but what was the expectation going in? Did you have the similar energy going into the Manchester Derby? Let me know. Let me know. I'm going to get to it. And let me go to these few comments real quick. FIFA goes, feel free to pin. Don't know what you mean by that. You're going to have to explain, my guy. Jack Lee, hiya, mate. Good looking out. Franklin, we're here. What's good? Yo, it's good to have you all. We're going to talk this through. I got to get this off my chest. I'm still mad. I'm still upset. I can't hide that. We were effing disgraced versus Pool. We got absolutely embarrassed. No pride or effort from the players. I find it hard to disagree with that, Jack. And that's why I'm still trying to get over this. That not only am I trying to get over the result, I'm trying to get over the performance, I'm trying to get over what I saw on that pitch. Jack also I got told you don't need to score goals to deserve to win games. I don't know that logic, my guy. I'm curious where you saw that. I'm curious where you saw that. Oh, my bad, FIFA. My bad. And Jack Lee goes, I said we'd lose anyway because City are pathetic in big games. I disagree with that, Jack. I disagree with regards to big games, big moments. Can't say that we're pathetic, but we missed an opportunity here. As different as this team is, as different as a team is, really, we didn't have that many different players on that pitch versus Liverpool. Now, I'm gonna get right into it. Let me get right into these manners. I'm gonna try to make this as clean as possible as we do this transition. I still need to figure out how to timestamp these segments, but I'm gonna figure that out. All right. Vader games. So I'm gonna be real honest, and I'm not gonna spend too much time on this. You guys have definitely seen. If you haven't, check out Saint LFC's channel because we did a preview. I talked about the 11, but I'm gonna run through the wanted 11. All right. and then I'm gonna go through the actual 11. The wanted 11 was Grealish because, funny enough, 4 or 5 weeks earlier, would we have said we wanted Grealish on that pitch? We do want Grealish on that pitch. He showed that he deserved to be there. His form was looking good. We wanted him on that left. We wanted Holland, no brainer. Him picks himself. And then Foden in fantastic form. Foden can play on the left and right, but we wanted Foden on that right hand side. Okay, that's the front. That's the attack. We had that simple, done. Midfield. Again, I think if it's not broken, don't fix it. If it's been smooth, it's been energetic, it's been effective. KDB, Silva, Rodri. Why want anything else? All phenomenal. Why want anything else? Those guys should have been there. Then the back line, yeah, back line, we could have had crazy variety. We could have Gomez could have been on the left back. Ake could have been at left back. Cancelo could have been at left back. Pep had so many options over there. The center backs, Laporte being fit, just coming back, I can see why he didn't start. But could have been Laporte, could have been Diaz, could have been Akanji, and then on that right hand side, it could have been Akanji, could have been Cancelo. So many options there. But that's not where the problem was. I'm gonna tell you the problem with the 11 that actually started that game, and I've heard it from many. I've heard it from Carl Gunnalorian. I've heard it from Martin Mancuinue. That combination of KDB and Gundogan and Rodri in that midfield gives a lot of people palpitations, gives a lot of people that uneasiness. It just doesn't feel like it's going to be quick enough. It's going to be aggressive enough. It's going to be not necessarily counter, but just swift, right? There's just a little bit of a delay with that type of midfield. So I get all that. But Pep doing that and not only having Silva in that starting 11, decided to keep Grealish on the bench and literally on the bench. I wasn't too crazy about it because in my head, I'm thinking Silva on the right wing, Holland, Foden on the left, and then you would have had Gundogan, KDB, and Rodri. And we have our hesitations. We don't really want that midfield, but that's how it would work. Now, that's the wanted 11. That's the actual 11. And I'm gonna let me go to these comments before I then move on to how that 11 was actually placed on the pitch. So I'm gonna get to these comments. So FIFA goes, we beat United, to be honest. We did beat United. And because we beat United and that energy, that big match, that derby, why doubt? Why doubt how we would play against Liverpool, right? Many of us would be thinking we're going to take that same energy, that same focus, that same determination to Liverpool. Why not? We got one historic rival, right? It's a derby, and then we got another recent fighting tooth and nail with Liverpool rival. Why not? Why change anything? Jack Lee goes, I don't mind losing games as long as we give it everything and lose to a better team, but we always lose in a bad way. I hear that. It's one thing to be fighting toe to toe, missed opportunities or brilliant play from the opposing team and you lose. It's another thing where you kind of, I'm not going to say self-sabotage, but it's another thing where you kind of like shoot yourself in the foot. It's like you make a silly mistake. You make something that you should be wiser to prevent, you right, or more seasoned to be able to deal with it. I agree with you on that one, Jack Lee. Clinical goes, why was Bernardo in a pivot with Rodri and KDB playing right wing? Exactly, and that's what I'm gonna get into. Absolutely crazy. Addy sat at that comment as well. This is what was driving me wild, and I've had the time to rewatch this match. I might even rewatch it a third time. I know it sounds torturous, but I want to try to figure out and get into Pep's head with regards to this. I'm trying to figure out what Pep may have anticipated or was looking to exploit with that type of formation and having the players where they were. Okay, KDB playing right wing, that experiment needs to die the same way the dual inverted fullbacks need to die because teams figured this out. But KDB, his skill set is he's the decision maker, right? KDB is the clinical, just like Akanji's the mathematician. So is KDB. KDB is constantly scanning. He's constantly scanning the pitch, knowing where he wants to drive with the ball, knowing how he's going to whip either foot, and putting the proper amount of touch of power on those passes. He needs to be involved in the play. Isolated on that right wing that made absolutely no sense because also pace isn't his game. You're going to want someone on the wing that's either going to be tricky with the ball, or quick. And KDB is tricky, but he's tricky with the ball in terms of shielding, holding, like keeping possession, forcing defenders not being able to get to the ball because they got to go through him. That's where he's nice, but out on that wing, it doesn't quite work. And I know I'm rambling a little bit, but I'm still upset about this damn loss. Um, FIFA goes, we're still winning the league. I agree. I agree. So it's not panic time. It's not panic time. But this loss, we missed an opportunity. I'm gonna get into it a lot more. I got a feeling we will smash Brighton. FIFA, you're getting ahead, man. That's the last point. That's the last point right there. That's the last point. Look at all we got to go through. Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Like Jack Lee goes, Brighton will be tough. Good side. Hey, not sleeping on them. We'll talk about it, but let's get from here to there. All right, let's get from here to there. All right, you guys still talking about Brighton? Franklin Cat goes, having all those midfielders was going to make us slow on the transition. Made Liverpool job easy when their press shutting down our counter. It's a good point. It's a good point because it wasn't so much that Liverpool were pressing to get the ball, right? And maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself because I think the adjustment that Klopp made, and I got to say, he made the adjustments. A lot of questions were, how would he adjust based off of Liverpool's form to deal with City and the amazing form that we were in, right? But what I saw from Klopp and what he asked his players to do, they pressed, but they didn't necessarily press to win the ball. They pressed to stay in front of us between their net and the ball and just slow things down. If you notice, they weren't really trying to double up or press a player to win the ball and then drive and attack us. They were actually just looking to slow us down, get in front of us, the ball and their net, slow it down, and prevent some of the danger points. In all fairness, and it worked. It worked. Danny goes, yo, you got to say hello. He's saying hello to everyone in the comments. I'm sure. FIFA VVD has no shame. He scuffed the pen spot for Bowen for his pen. Should have been retaken, in my opinion. That was some, one would say, dark arts. That was some savvy manipulation. I don't know. It's all caught on video. I'm curious what the talks are with regards to Liverpool darlings and what VVD did. But hey, let me continue on because it was a good point, and I'm gonna go back and find it because Clinical mentioned it. What Pep did with that 11 and having essentially that left side, I'm gonna say, overrun. That left side was flooded a little bit because we had Akanji playing right center back. We had Diaz. We had Ake left back. We had Cancelo playing the right back, but Cancelo was playing so far up the pitch, so wide that it was essentially him and KDB that were relied on to do their work on the right-hand side. And they were already outnumbered because Liverpool had a balanced formation. Liverpool had a symmetrical, how they were attacking on the left, how they were attacking on the right. The team did shift to where the ball was, of course, but it was KDB and Cancelo were always outnumbered. And unless the ball was to be whipped quickly and KDB or Cancelo were to find their spots and maybe get a chance to isolate it one-on-one with or two-on-two with some of the Liverpool's defenders, it was never going to work. And I'm really disappointed that wasn't recognized and adjustments weren't made. But here's where I'm still upset about. Okay, I'm upset because Liverpool was never going to be this vulnerable. They were never going to be this vulnerable again, right? Like if we really think about it, Liverpool in the form that they were in, some of the injuries that they had, Klopp benching Trent, benching Salah the game before, like the form that Liverpool were in was an opportunity for us as City fans and an opportunity for us and Anfield. I know, trust me. 38 games, it's a marathon. This is just a speed bump in the road. But this is one of the matches where you want to get up for. You want to make a statement in the sense of taking, it's not really revenge because we won the league last year, but it's one of those where you just want to take it to your opponent, take it to someone that's been a rival for you in recent years. And I hated that we missed it. I also hate how we played. I hate how we played that game. Now, the player roles, and I kind of touched on it. Clinical mentioned where KDB playing right wing. We didn't do what we typically do. We made and again, I don't want to take anything away from Liverpool because they deserve the win, right? Obviously, they took their chances and they attacked us where we were vulnerable, and where we were vulnerable was a lot had to do with how we were set up. And Cancelo isolated on that right hand side, he was the only one to have to defend, and the way Klopp made the adjustments to bring Salah more central, and there were opportunities where Salah was essentially being man marked with Diaz, man marked with Ake, and man marked with Cancelo, and we know the result when that happened with Cancelo. The blame's on both sides. And I know Pep's going to make the adjustments. I know he's not going to allow this mistake to happen a second time in a row. But why did it have to happen in this game? Why did it have to happen at Anfield when we were on such an amazing run, where we could have imposed how we have been playing against other teams? The player roles that worked based off of what Pep did, honestly, what could we say? Who could we look at and be like, you know what you did for that entire day, how you were asked to do it based off of Pep, it worked. I think Ake had way too much responsibility the way Pep had set things up and how we weren't symmetrical. Ake looked good, all things considered. Ake looked good, all things considered. Cancelo, how he was set up, how he ended up playing, didn't. KDB didn't. Silva's effectiveness wasn't in display. The best things about Silva, the best things about Foden, the best things about Holland, those weren't on display. In my opinion, it's not the players. It's not a matter of the players not being up for it. Now, I will critique Foden. I think he should have taken the onus and being more threatening throughout that game. Whether he was defended by committee because Milner on that right hand side was getting help from the midfield. He's obviously getting eyed by Gomez as well. I think Foden could have tested that a little bit. I think there could have been some passes that are either challenging over the top or challenging to try and get behind. But that type of dynamic would have been asked for from Foden, Gundogan, and Silva, if you really think about it. Even Holland to a certain degree, but that would have been required amongst those players. We can't ask that of Ake. We're not going to ask that of Rodri, really, because Rodri had his kind of defensive responsibilities and he was playing back to recycle play. And obviously, the way things were set up with KDB so freaking far on that right-hand side, it wasn't going to be a possibility of KDB unlocking that. So that was what it was over there. I really don't have much to say against Rodri on the performance, and I'm not going to do a player rating or whatever. But this is one thing, if you guys, and I don't promote this, I don't think I ever will. When I am brave enough, when I am brave enough to do a watch along, you're only going to know about it if you're following me on Twitter or if you happen to follow me on Twitch. I'm not going to be promoting it all. The city nervousness in me is not going to allow it. But as I was doing my watch along, I was getting really frustrated with Gundogan. Really frustrated because for me, what I want to see from him, if he's playing back, and I see it from Silva all the time, but if you get the pass from a CB, if you get a pass from the back line, if you're clear and the players are talking to you, I know they are. If you're clear, I want you, don't just pass that ball back. Half turn, face, and scan and see what it is. You're the one responsible to get that ball out and see where we can attack, see how we can transition. I hate when Gundogan, and I saw it way too many times in that game, him getting the ball and not even taking the risk, essentially, or there was many times there was no risk. He could have turned around, but just taking that ball and turning and squaring up. All right. That's all that you need to do in FIFA. Just fake shot, you square up, and you face the opposing net. But I just needed him to take that ball and to look forward. And I wasn't happy with that overall performance. I know Pep's going to lay into them. I know I need to move on. As a City fan, I need to move on and be like, you know what, that Liverpool loss, forget about it. I just can't see it again. I don't want to see it again. Let me go to these comments. I cannot see a performance like that again. What we got here? FIFA goes, I'm always confident. 10. You're always confident. Confidence at a 10, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm always confident as well. I was confident going into that game. There was, why wouldn't we be? Danny goes, I feel like we should have had Grealish, Haaland, Foden against Liverpool, and Foden as a right wing. Bang on, 100%, Danny. We should have been doing that from the jump. We should have been doing that and seeing how they would have defended against us. Like, and my approach, I'm no coach, all right? But my approach is come in with the form that has been dominant, right? And then when you see a counter against it, right? Then when you see that they can actually deal with it, always have that plan B, plan C, as opposed to already changing, because this is the thing, all right? And Danny, I love your comment. This is the thing. If Pep already had a different plan going into this match, which he obviously did, we saw it. He had a different plan. Now, when it's not working, why not go back to what was working? You know what I mean? Like, why not go back to what we were doing previously that had Grealish do his thing? I know it's not showing up in the GA, but Grealish was doing his thing. Foden was attacking. Haaland was doing his thing. KDB more central in the midfield. Silva as well. I mean, that would have required Gundogan to leave the pitch. But why not go back to that? Why not go back to that? It's killing me. Danny goes, Gundo's role worked a bit. It worked a bit, but what we love about Gundo is also when he's in that final third, right? When he's in that final third. And I think because Gundo was so, like, him and KDB, that synergy was not there. And yeah, Silva, Rodri kind of had that a little bit, but it didn't work enough in my opinion. And it did not work enough in my opinion. Mancunian Way, Martin goes, good evening, mate. Thanks for being in here, man. Thanks for being in here. I'm just venting. I'm venting. Do them. Oh man, everyone's saying shouts out to Martin. Good looking out. That's part of the fam. But the player roles that worked, the player roles that didn't, I kind of ran through that really briefly. Now here's another thing that I want to point out. And I think as a fan base, we need to also remember to be clear on this one. Players that we have that are young, making errors, and we saw that just a while back with Gomez. We don't label them. One error should not be labeled. Okay? One error, young players as well, should not be labeled. Cancelo, he's had his misses. He's had his mess ups. He's had his errors. We can all hold our hand, and Cancelo will be the first to tell you, my bad. And we saw it. I think post-match, he said, my bad. And Foden went up and said, nah, man, it's all right. We'll move past this, on to the next, right? But Cancelo will be the first to admit how he handled defending Salah in that moment. It wasn't the right move. Akanji kind of got spun a little bit on that right-hand side. Nunez getting past him. Same thing. The players are going to learn from it, but let's not label them. One thing to take into account, we've all played, maybe not football, but we all played sports. We understand there's things that you do differently when you're fatigued, when you're tired. You're not going to label what happens late in the game as something that a player is going to be for the remainder of their career, right? So let's not do that. I'm there. I'm not killing the players. I'm still upset with the missed opportunity to slap up Liverpool in Anfield. All right. Why always me? I wanted one of those moments. I wanted the Manchester Derby moments, 6-3 that we just had recently. I wanted something like that. We're going to have to wait another year for it. All right, we're going to have to wait another year for it. But I had to get that off my chest. Yeah, I had to get that off my chest. Let me do this as well.
Vader games.
So we got Julian Alvarez on our team. And let me know, everybody should know in the comments what Julian Alvarez's kind of like alter ego or nickname is, right? And this is what's bringing me to the next point. I know Julian Alvarez is an offensive player, but this is coming to the next point, which is going to be really important. And you guys talked about it a little earlier with regards to big matches, being ready. You know, we want to look at what happened in previous Champions Leagues. We want to look at what happened in this big match against Liverpool, you know, late in the match when things are critical. We need as a team, as a club, and this is talking to Pep, this is talking to our back line, this is talking to our midfield. We need to be better at sensing danger. You know, Alvarez, Spider-Man, Spidey sense, you know, Spidey sense are tingling. There's danger, something's happening. We need to have a better sense of that. And I'm not talking about no PTSD, any of that stuff, but we need to have a better sense of danger. Look at that moment that happened with Cancelo and Salah. Look at what happened in moments as recently as the Champions League. I think, and as fans as we're watching, as Pep as he's managing, as players as they're playing, once we've identified where the danger points are, you know, and that obviously playing against Liverpool, that's now Salah. It used to be Salah and Mane, which made them almost impossible to defend. But we need to recognize those. And my thing is, and what I'm pleading, and it's not a matter of us being pragmatic as a team and being risk adverse and playing terrible Tottenham type football or Tommy Tuchel Chelsea football. Well, previously Chelsea football. But that's not what I'm asking for. But what I'm asking for is, let's not give their best attacking points easy defenses or easy matchups defensively, if that makes any sense. That's one of the things that I've been paying a lot of attention to, and I've actually kind of looked back at some of our missed opportunities, some of our poor performances, especially with regards to the Champions League, because from a Champions League standpoint, you really just want to stifle what the other team does well. And in some instances, it doesn't just balance out with what we do well. Sometimes what we do well feeds into what they do well. So maybe we have to change a little bit, right? And I don't mean to waffle on. I don't mean to kind of go back and forth a little bit. But what I want to see from us as a club is that we just do a better job of making their best attacking spots, attacking threats, a lot more difficult to pull off, to execute. All right, we have our philosophy, 100%, but I'd love to see within moments, and we saw that with regards to Atletico last year. We 100% saw that against Atletico, and I want us to be more consistent with doing that. It's a little bit of my rant. This is where I ask you guys in the chat. And you guys were trying to skip ahead and already talking about Brighton. Like, you guys are messing with the flow of the show. We gotta go through these. But this is where I ask you guys in the chat. And if you're watching on video on demand, hit me up in the comments. I'll read it, respond 100%. But what to expect next from City? Because we are on an amazing run. We didn't suffer a loss. Okay? And that was 9 matches, if I'm correct. Did we play 9 matches? So in 10 matches, 9-1. Well, 9 non-losses, 1 loss. But should we expect the same thing for another 10, or this next 10 we're going to be even better? What do you guys expect from City? I haven't gone so far to actually look at the fixture list like the next five, but I know that these games are going to be coming really quick, especially with this postponement against Arsenal. But these games are going to come really quick. What's your expectation? I think we still have our sights on. We're still pursuing winning this league 100%. But how do you see us playing? And maybe I should shift it. What do you expect from City with regards to the 11? What do you see in terms of like a consistent 11 or expected 11 week by week? And maybe what may play out substitution wise or who starts? Let me know. And if it requires a little more time to think about it before you hit me up in the comments, that's fine. I'll tell you what I expect. I expect us to really I expect us to do what I expected us to do against Liverpool, but I want our best 11. I want our best 11 to be that example of the type of football that we play. And then I want to see substitutions. Then I want to see I guess different variations of the 11, but I want it to build off of the per, not perfected but the best example that we can set. If that makes any sense. So I want to see our best 11 next game versus Brighton, barring injury. But if everyone's healthy, I want to see our best 11. I want to see how they play. I want to see that example, that City example of football. Then I want to see some subs. Then I want to see some different variations. That's my expectation.
Vader, Vader, Vader games.
Now, not a Liverpool fan, obviously, but and please make sure you go and tune into Mancunian Way. I believe he has a pre-scheduled show later on today, so make sure you get that notification, but or you get that alert, set up that alert, the reminder. But there's been a lot of talk with how Klopp's been talking about clubs and who can afford what and financial ceilings. There's underdog talk. There's who can compete, all that kind of stuff. One thing that kind of came to mind for me and why I'm not going to allow the talk to be anything different than this. The fact that Klopp, Liverpool, were able to step their game up to such a level at how they played against us, it really dismisses. There's no legitimacy for what Klopp was talking about, not being able to compete. It also doesn't work for its fan base that said they needed certain players to be able to, or they needed certain players which they didn't get through the transfer window on why their form has been so poor at this point in the season. Because they've obviously been able to raise their levels, or not even raise their levels. Those levels have always been there. So it's either the players weren't stepping up and playing to their level, being responsible, being accountable, or it's Klopp not being able to find that mental trigger to get them to play for him. But squad-wise, they've been there. Squad-wise, let's be real, they've had the quality to not suffer the losses or draws that they've had to start the season. So they can't get this cop-out with regards to they didn't do their thing in the transfer window. Yeah, maybe you didn't do your thing in the transfer window where you think long term with regards to this season to be able to keep up with a club like City and pursue all four trophies that you tried to last season. Sure. But that does not give you an out for how you've performed this point to the season. Your draws against Fulham, your loss to Arsenal, your loss to United. You've been the better team in every instance. Klopp wasn't doing his thing. The players, the touted best by position players weren't playing. Let me go to these comments. Franklin goes, this loss should push us to improve, so I expect to see that. I agree with you. I expect the same thing. I expect us to then, you know what, we're not allowing this to continue. Back to our winning ways, back to the style of football that we play, and get our guys on track. I kind of kept this semi low key. If you watch the show, those that are loyal, my day ones, you saw me with having Patrick on the panel a couple shows back, and we realized I think Holland was at 7 or 8 consecutive games with a goal. and Vardy's record is at 11, and we're already getting so giddy that he's going to break that record so early in the season. Another reason why this missed opportunity versus Liverpool is so annoying, still bothering me. Let me go to Mancuni way. He goes, Mancuni, I appreciate it. He goes, great show. Hit that like and help get this legend to 500 subs. My God, thank you so much. That would be absolutely amazing. If each of you know a person, share it, get them to like it. You know what? Before this show can actually do all the special things that it can when it reaches larger levels, the likes are tremendous. The likes are tremendous, and those of you that do share it and get your friends to like this as well, or those of you that have multiple accounts and any which way to like this means a great deal. I think my record like for a show is I don't think I've cracked 50. I don't think I've cracked 50 likes. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I don't think I've cracked 50 likes for a show yet. That would be absolutely amazing. Martin also goes on and got to go and do some setting up for the stream at 8:30. That's 8:30 UK time. Yeah, I'm gonna catch you. Good looking out. So those are the expectations. City, Liverpool. Damn this loss. Now, let's make this clean. All right.
Vader games.
Okay. This is amazing stuff. And this should be the first thing. Okay. I don't know if many of you get into like agenda talks or banter back and forth with your friends, but you know how you kind of have that trump card. You kind of have that go-to, for those of you that kind of do the dirty dozens or jokes back and forth with your friends, the mama jokes and the disses, you know what I mean? The roasts. This go-to kills everything. It kills anything. The fact that City won the UEFA Best Club Award for 2022, it kills everything. It kills anything that may be a criticism with regards to the club, how it's run, what it means, its impact, where it is within the grand scheme of things, where it is amongst other clubs. You just won the award that basically says you're the best club in the world. You've won that award. Like, what else do you need to say? Now, let me give you some clarity if you guys don't know. This award isn't just with regards to the men's team. This is the club from top to bottom. This award is in recognition for what the club is doing at all levels. Men's, women's programs, the young developing programs. That speaks to its quality. And that makes this award even more special, even more of a great recognition, great acknowledgement. Now, what I do find interesting, ironic here, is that City has been under the microscope, right? Under the magnifying glass from UEFA. Let's be real, okay? Overly attentive to City, or a lot of scrutiny, a lot of judgment, okay? The fact that that's been the case, UEFA has been that way over City. And now as a result, City being the way it's been, improving year after year, being more strategic, just making fantastic decisions and long-term decisions, right? For the success of the club. To then be under such a magnifying glass and then being seen and recognized as the best club, getting the best club award, speaks volumes. It speaks volumes, right? Like, think about the scrutiny that City get, and now think of them winning this award. Okay? Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So be proud of it, City fans. Be proud that City is at that level. Again, we've always loved the club, but the fact that that recognition is happening globally and it's amongst all these other clubs as well is absolutely great. And don't miss the connection of a UEFA evaluation, investigation, and whatever, and the criteria that they put in place in terms of judging the best club to then award it to Manchester City. Put one and one together, you get two, right? See what it means, and I'm not going to spell it out for you, but see what that connection means. UEFA telling Manchester City, you have the best club in the world. We won that award. All right, now catch that. Take that.
Vader games.
All right. Now, you guys tried to skip ahead. And get to get to this City versus Brighton. We're going to get into it. Right now. What do we want from this match? We want to win, obviously. We want to win, no question there. Have there been any injuries? Have we heard of any injuries coming out of the Liverpool game to warrant maybe not expecting all available bodies for this Brighton game? Are there any injuries? Please let me know. I don't think there are. Do I want the 11 that played against Liverpool? No, don't want that. Not at all. I do want to win, right? I do want to win. Now, Blake goes, please don't destroy us 7-0 or something. Blake, man, I don't see that. You guys have been playing very good football. Don't do the Liverpool underdog thing. I mean, rightfully so. You should be the underdog because we're defending champs. But nah, 7-0, nah, that's not happening, man. That's not happening. I'm actually curious, and maybe I don't know if you happen to do content yourself, but I'd be curious to kind of learn what your expected 11 might be for Brighton versus City. But I don't want the same 11 that played against Liverpool. Let's be real. You guys let me know in the comments if you disagree. If you want the same 11, if what different 11. I know many of you are probably going to say, let's get Alvarez out there to start. Again, I don't know how realistic that is because I think there's good learnings that happen from a young player being able to see the game played and then coming on as a sub. Now, when they come on as a sub, I think is important. Maybe don't leave it as late as the 80th minute. Like bring them on a little sooner. Maybe almost give them 25 minutes to play, 30 minutes possibly. FIFA heartless. FIFA goes, we will destroy you. Nah, I don't see that, but it is going to be a good game because you guys are playing very good football despite changing managers. My 11, all healthy. I'd want Cancelo at right back. I don't think we need to give Akanji a rest, but maybe Pep might decide to give him a rest because he's been playing right back, and that's a lot of up and down. So I'd say Cancelo, Diaz, Laporte. Let's kind of go old school with that back. And for this Brighton game, maybe we also rest Ake and we give Gomez another chance here. No. Brighton's attack is good. Let's keep Ake. So we go Ake, Laporte, Diaz, and go Cancelo. Midfield, do we rest anyone? If we're going to rest anybody, it would be Silva. So when we go, and I know you guys hate this slow transition, but maybe we go KDB, we go Gundo and Rodri. Rest Silva. And then we go right wing, Foden, I agree. Haaland has to start. And Grealish comes back. Grealish has to come back. FIFA, cold as ice. He goes 10-0. That's rude. That's very rude. Goes Stones. Yeah, Stones could come back for sure. If Stones does start, then what do? We go Stones and Laporte, and we rest Diaz as well. Rest Diaz and Akanji. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I'm really curious what Pep decides to do with this 11. I don't want to see a three at the back three at the back while defending. Because there's one thing attacking, and this is what was also annoying me. And that Twitch stream is you're gonna see some real frustration on that one. But it wasn't only that Cancelo was so far up the pitch on offense; it was also on defense. I often saw him being the one to close in on Robertson. Cancelo, our right back, who should be one of the players further back, is so high up the pitch that he's actually applying pressure to Liverpool's left back. Absolutely freaking insane. Dudley goes, "What's happening with Stones?" I don't think anything's happening with Stones. I think Stones is actually good. I think the question might have been like getting him back in, like whether he starts and gets this match. I don't want to see Stones at right back. No, he is so quality. He's so quality keeping him at center back. Blake, a Brighton fan, respect for being on the channel, my guy, but he wants to point out. He goes, Sanchez, okay, Veltman, Dunk, Webster. Oh crap! You guys are playing 5 at the back. Estupinan, Alistair, Gancedo, yep. March. Gross and Trozout. Troussard. Welbeck. Welbeck is he's ageless, isn't he? He's ageless. If Welbeck starts, we won't be scoring because in our last game with the Zebi, we play and created chances. But yeah, I know he's not clinical. He is an energy guy, and he does kind of get himself in some awkward spots. But when he does get those chances, he's not clinical. I agree. Damn this match, 3-4-3. Yeah, with the wing backs. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Actually the chess match with how you guys attack and defend us and how we will attack and defend against you guys is gonna be good to watch. I geek out on that stuff. I love watching that, and those are the best when you're actually. Funny enough, when you don't have the best seats in the stadium, could kind of have a higher angle, a little bird's eye view. You can actually see most of that type of movement. I love it. I love it. Dudley goes, I think Stones can play 45 minutes. Yeah. I'd rather see Stones if he is going to play. Either way, if he starts or if he comes on, controlled minutes. This Brighton game, we need it so bad. We need a win, not even a freaking draw. We need a win. I didn't get into this too much, but let me ask you guys your feelings in terms of where we are in the standings. I think we would all kind of hold our hands up and say, this is where, if we were to play this many games, we'd be like 1 loss, 2 draws, rest were wins. I think we'd be cool with that. It's how we lost that has us upset. This Brighton game, we don't need to see a destruction. Let's be real. And thanks for being in the show, Blake, and being in the comment. I actually appreciate it. I know some choose to watch, listen. When you do reach out with a comment, when you do hit that like, I don't see the likes right now, but when you do hit that like, it means a great deal. So please do that. But being in the comments is huge, and I rate that. Now, am I doing a watch along? I can't answer that. I can't confirm nor deny that I will do one. I will be doing a post-match on the Mancunian Way. And as soon as that is tweeted, I'll retweet it. So please follow me on Twitter. I know some of you have not been on the show for a while, but I hope everyone has hit that like button. Definitely hit that sub button, subscribe. And the little things for a channel like mine is when you like it, when you share it, obviously you invite someone to come and maybe tune in for a few minutes, hear what I'm saying, like it, move on, or don't like it, move on. But um, I mean, it means a lot. I'm not geeking out in the numbers in terms of looking at things, but I've seen how you guys have been interacting me in a great way, and I'm appreciative of that. I'm trying to improve on this channel. I'm working on my sound, and for whatever reason, my microphone is nice, but what I'm trying to incorporate is actually some sound effects that I was able to mess around with, but I think it needs to come through my monitor, my external speaker, so then it gets picked up by my mic. Because right now I can't feed it directly in because the software, for whatever reason, not working. But I think I have a workaround. I do have a workaround, and I'm gonna make that work. Um, but let me say this: thank you all for tuning into the show. Thank you all for interacting and hitting me up with the comments. You know, my peoples, and you all are my peoples, my day ones, those that have come on late and still supporting. I'm, I'm grateful. I'm 100% grateful. I'm able to get these ideas off my chest. I'm venting after this Liverpool loss, and you guys are here with me. I'm talking about an upcoming match that's going to happen on the weekend. You guys are here with me, and even my theories or some of the things that I've been thinking about that may come out of left field or may seem super odd. Why am I listening to this football city fan out here in Toronto? But I love it, and I'm very thankful. Hopefully, I'm giving you guys a different perspective that you rate, that you enjoy. I want to remind you, Mancunian Way, Gundalorian, True City Fan, Football and Chills. Make sure you support those guys. Follow me on Twitter. That's when you know when the next show is. And that's when you also catch possible ideas of what the next show may be about. Because some of the things I see on this timeline and some of the takes that some of these people have are wild. Stones was training today. Yeah, I didn't think anything was wrong with Stones that would have prevented him from being able to train, but I did have my concerns on whether Pep would get him into the mix. Blake goes, big up Vader, great show, great content. My guy, thank you. Brighton, that's going to be a huge match. I hope to catch you next week. I tend to do a show once a week. We can talk post match. You can give me your feedback. I can give you mine. Hopefully, it's a result that one of us will be. It'll be a result that obviously one of us will be happy about. But I appreciate you tuning in. It's gonna be good. Come on, Cite. Of course, FIFA, my guy. Everyone for tuning in. I'm gonna sign off with my intro. I still gonna perfect it, but I hope you enjoy the beats and the imagery. And we'll be back next week with another episode of Why Always Me. I'm Vader Games. Thank you all for being on this, for being a part of the show. And if you're watching this on demand, hit me up in the comments. We'll be back. Peace.